Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Trading Bitcoin with your host, Tone Vays. Coming to you while the market is already open on this Thursday, September 17th. Always have to check the date. There you go. Yeah, September 17th it is. Let's go take a look at the markets. Bitcoin is pulling back a little bit this morning, along with the rest of the market. And let's go straight to the charts. Not a lot of announcements today. All right, we're literally going right into the Bitcoin chart. And this Bitcoin chart is showing you that we have the official MRI top. Now, this indicator should be released at the end of the month. We are putting in really neat features. These plus signs still need a little bit of work. We haven't had anything on the weekly, but I'll show you what's going on other time frame, on other assets. But we broke out of this consolidation and we perfectly reached the target from the consolidation. So the way that's done is we just go and take a look at what the difference is. That's about $500 or about 5%, 4.6% to be exact. And now you flip it about $500 to the upside. And what do you know? We actually exceeded this target on an intraday basis, but we could not close above it. And we are now pulling back. When I did this video yesterday, I talked about an orange arrow above yesterday's candle on the daily chart. That makes total sense because that's a warning arrow that the red arrow is coming today. And the red arrow did come today. The top actually came in the evening yesterday when Bitcoin hit $11,100. And we are pulling back today. So what does this mean? Well, to me, this means that we are now in the middle of a 1 to 4 candle correction. And after that, we reevaluate the situation. What really matters to me at the moment, what is this black line? What is that? Oh, that's an old Fibonacci line. I don't really need it. Why is it there? Where is it coming from? Yeah, these are the Fibonacci lines that we've broken. So I don't actually need this unless I want to do Fibonacci projections, which I am actually doing. And there it is. There's the Fibonacci projection. Okay, so we will leave that for now. So I am looking at a 1 to 4 candle correction, and then we reevaluate. The most likely candidate for this correction is only back down to $10,500, the area of the breakout. That is what I'm looking at from the daily chart perspective. Let's zoom out to the weekly scale, and you can see how the weekly is looking pretty bullish, but it's in the middle of nowhere, so the weekly is not helping us, or it's not helping me with any trades. All right, guys, we're at only 200 live viewers. That is kind of low. I guess my shows are not being notified by people, for people. That's okay. And well, that's it on the weekly. The weekly isn't really of much help. It's a bullish candle. It's bouncing off a 20 period moving average, which is great. The daily is bounced off the 128-day moving average and is now stuck under the 50-day moving average, and we'll see how that develops. Ignore these plus signs. At the moment, they just show up anytime there is an MRI top. We're working on that functionality. Hopefully, we have everything ready to go by the end of the month. So here we go. This was my arrow from a while back that I drew it. I expected us to run into resistance at approximately 11,000, went a little bit above that, and now we are potentially coming back down. This arrow is drawn a little bit heavy. I think what we can do is I want to drop this arrow down to 10,500 because I think 10,500 is going to be the first level. I don't need that arrow anymore. So we can replace it with this. We can put this down to about 10,500, and then we can extend this arrow from that arrow and don't make it as steep. So something like this. This will be a very critical area of support, and we can bounce off of that area like that. Okay. And I might as well go ahead and draw a little line. So we take the best fit line through here, something like that. And that is what I will be looking at, the area of the breakout. It's debatable if you want to put it up here. I think putting it up here is way too close to the top. I like it better down here, but it's really up to you. And I want to make this significantly less intrusive, something like that. Okay, that's the 4-hour chart. GBTC is pulling back. GBTC premium is only at 14%, which is okay. I will actually consider picking up some Bitcoin this Friday because I don't know what next week brings. I'll think about it tomorrow. I'm definitely not going to buy any today. We'll see what it looks like tomorrow. Gold. Let's look at gold. Gold is hanging in there. See right now we have two. There's a couple of neat features. So we're playing around with how to display higher level time frames. So one way is to put these pluses above the candles. Another way. Oh, damn it. I got to update. Let's update this real quick. Whoa, how did I end up here? So one way is to put these pluses above the candles, but another way is take this MRI and uncheck this guy, and boom. So right here, this is the weekly chart. So this is my third level time frame, and this tells me that the fourth level time frame, which is my monthly time frame, is on an MRI top. So you get these numbers along the bottom, which is really neat. And so we're looking at how to say. So this tells me that my fourth level time frame, which is the monthly, we're going to try to get an M over here, but Pine makes this very difficult. That's what I wanted. And this tells me that the monthly is on an MRI top. So now if I flip to the monthly chart, there should be a top right there, and it is there, which is beautiful. But now if I click on the daily chart, so you see a bunch of pluses right here and right here. So these pluses could get overwhelming, but it's really neat over here. This tells me that my third level time frame, which is my weekly, and you select your time frames, and we're going to decide how to display it. You select your time frames in the settings, and this indicator should be out by end of month. You select your time frames in the settings, hourly, daily, weekly, and monthly. So this is number 4, monthly. So now we want to try and display it in a cleaner way, but this is just how we're starting it out. So you have all these pluses telling you that higher level time frames are topping, and this is really, really neat. Oh, why isn't Tone using his new laptop yet? I will next week, I promise. I still need to transfer a lot of like accounts and files. And I've just been busy. I've been busy all morning, QAing this. So this tells me that the monthly is on the top as of September, and the weekly was on the top in the middle of August. And gold is still, pulling back. Just too much momentum that it ran out of. Here is the weekly top, literally right at the top. And here is the monthly top that's happening right now. So gold still has a little bit of headwinds before it can overcome it all and go up. Jimmy got done with this podcast. I mean, we'll do a show later today or tomorrow, our news show. I don't know if it makes sense for me to like bother Jimmy right now. Willie Woo is coming on the show, guys. Willie Woo coming on the show tonight. In a little less than 12 hours, I will be joined by Willie Woo. All right, oil. What about oil? Let's see what's going on. Here is our weekly chart of oil. Nothing on a monthly scale. If we go to the daily chart of oil, you should see a bunch of pluses somewhere. Right there. I see a bunch of pluses in July telling you that the weekly was topping. Oh, interesting. We're not getting the pluses here, and I know why that is. That's a bug we need to fix. That's because back in the old version of TI, this would have been something referred to as a quasi top. So this was an official top, and this was a top that didn't hold and it turned. The MRI doesn't care which one it is. A top is a top, but the logic for the higher level time frames has not taken that into account yet. Working on it. Still a lot of work to do, but you guys are seeing the progress. S&P tops right here with the weekly chart and the daily. So this is a combination of a daily top on the MRI and weekly top on the MRI, and I love this pullback. So yes, the indicator will be useful. Will you be able to profitably trade off of it? It depends. It depends on your, I guess, understanding of how to use it and your very due diligence and risk management. But I'm definitely building this, and once it's completed, there's two projects that I'm going to focus on. Once the syndicator is released, we're going to also release an alert notification service, but then I also want to code this into a bot to start trading it automatically, so that I don't have to manually execute the trades. The alert notification service we'll definitely have available for paid access. As far as the Vays trading bot, if it's not profitable, obviously it would be dumb of me to charge people for it. And if it is profitable, it's debatable whether I would charge people for it, because I may have to be regulated to do that, and I don't want to be regulated. So we'll see on the latter. Is it possible to replace numbers with buy-sell text signals? It's possible, but it's not smart, because if I start telling people when to buy and when to sell, I can get myself in a lot of trouble. Hey guys, I was on a podcast yesterday with Max Kaiser. Check it out. It's on my Twitter. The links on my Twitter was the Swan podcast. Speaking of Swan, so Swan, this company here, they're basically only Bitcoin. They hate shit coins, and they're a dollar cost average for those of you that don't want to trade. And they have a podcast, and Max Kaiser and I were on that podcast yesterday. So go ahead and check that out. Just go to my Twitter and get the link. And if you want to support, check out the other links on this page. All right, S&P 500. That was a nice rally this morning. I'm really curious if this rally took place from a 10 a.m. reversal. I have not looked yet. Let's take a look. When did we reverse? We reversed before 10 a.m. We reversed in pre-market, and we've only gone up. This is interesting. I have actually not read the Fed statements. See, now I'm looking at a 10-minute chart. So if I go to the MRI and damn, I have to refresh because I did a code update this morning. So I have to refresh the chart. So now if I go to the settings, you can see over here, I also have hourly, daily, weekly, and monthly, but this is a 10-minute chart. So now if I turn this on, drop the volume, normalize it. See right here, so my first higher level time frame. So this is where the hourly had an MRI bottom because it's green. So this is an MRI bottom with the hourly. Clearly we went a little bit lower. And if I start zooming this out, here is an hourly MRI top. Here is an hourly MRI top as I'm looking at the 10-minute candles. But if I really start to zoom this out, and I go to something like this, and now start to zoom in, like what's going on here. So here, so that's a 2 and that's a 3. So that means, yeah, that's why we may get rid of these pluses. So this right here is, this is the hourly MRI top. This is the daily MRI top. And this whole thing along the bottom is the weekly MRI top. So it just notifies you that, hey, you're on a 10-minute chart, but your higher level time frames can start to seriously get you into trouble. So here is the daily warning, and here is the weekly warning starting here and running all the way to all the way through the end. So right here on this weekly, you got you hit a nice top. So I think this is really cool. And this is what I've been looking at and QAing all morning. Do I see any signs of an incoming crash in your charts? Are we talking Bitcoin or are we talking S&P 500? I don't see any major crash, but we have to define what we consider a crash. Daily or Rune on the S&P? Everyone's an Arun expert now. Guys, look up the Arun. It's a really neat indicator. It's very clean. It's so simple. And that's probably why I like it. I don't have the Arun up on my daily. I'm using the futures chart. It shouldn't really matter if you're using the futures or the S&P. If you're curious about the Arun, this is my affiliate page, of course. If you go to Learn Trading, this is all free. I got to get back and give you more resources. But here in the section, just click on this link first. And then you can also have additional resources here, 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 and over here. And I was going to build my own Arun, actually, because I don't like the default version. But read about the Arun. I like it. I think it's really, really neat. So here are some examples on stockcharts.com. It's very simple, too. I mean, here's the math. No, wait, that's not the math. Here's the math. It's really, really simple. It's like the simplest indicator you can possibly use. It's really cool because it's a true momentum. It shows you true momentum. Literally, that's the math. You can do it by hand, Excel spreadsheet. All right, so daily Arun on SPX. There's the tone-based volume. That's why there's yellow bars. I need to, QA this more, and then I can release it. Well, everything other than the MRI that I will do will be released for free. I'm not going to charge for anything else. All right, what am I doing? Oh yeah, Arun. I need my own. I need like the. I don't like the built-in version. Should probably start. The built-in is terrible. It's actually wrong too. The length should be 25, not 14. And I don't like the color. Should be green. Should be red. Yeah, but I don't like this crossover. The crossover took place at 80%. That's not good. I like these crossovers to take place at 20% or below. Like here's 25%. That's close to, well, 22%. So that's where I want it. That is a great crossover. That is what I want to see. I like this thing to cross as low as possible. And that was a beautiful long trade that did not need to be exited, well, until all the way back here, actually. So based on the Arun, that is a great trade. So how do we do? So the Arun crossed on July 10th. Ironically, it was a conflict with the MRI top, so I would not have gotten in until here, where and let me drop the volume. Drop the tone-based volume. I'm gonna drop annotations too. I mean, oh wait, if I drop annotations, but I can't see the. Well, what the hell is that? Where'd that come from? So, okay, hold on. Let's regroup here. So if you're gonna use the Arun, this is a beautiful cross. See, this is not a great cross. It took place at 40. It's okay at 40, but it's not great. And this would have gotten you into a bad short trade, which is why I don't like the crosses when they happen high. Technically, if it happens below 50, you're okay. But I like to be in that 20, 25 range or lower. But this is a great crossover. So, but it would have been a conflict with the MRI top. So I would have waited. And how long would I have waited? Well, I would have had my stars set. By default, they're turned off. But here I'm going to turn them on. But over here, it's going to be different. And I have to teach all this. So this is close condition is last candle. And extreme condition is prior candle. So, and this is first candle, yeah. So now you will have a green star right here. So this is the candle that makes me bullish. So combining the Arun and the MRI, I'm entering right here. This green star would have shown up at the moment you cross the prior candle's high. That's what this means. Trend, change, extreme condition, exhaustion, extreme condition. And I have it set to prior candle. That means we're breaking the prior candle's high. There'll be a 6-hour workshop on all of this, guys. Do I ever watch other people's Bitcoin TA videos? Absolutely not. I don't. I mean, I don't have time, and B, I don't like to be swayed from my own analysis by other people's analysis. I will listen to Wooly Woo. There's a couple of analysts that I do respect They're few and far between, but Willy Woo's one of them. But he's more of a fundamental guy, not a TA guy. So right here is my entry, right at the top of that candle. And if you're using the Arun, you don't have to exit until September 9th. September 9th was a rough candle. So where on that candle? Hopefully at the opening of the day, you know, but that's still a 7% rise. So that's pretty damn good. However, there are reasons to take your profit on this MRI top and this MRI top, but then these green stars get you back into the bullish trade. So even if I got out and took my profit here, I can get back in here. I don't have to. And if I took my profit here, I can get back in on this green star, and I can even go back in on this green star, and there's no red star in between them. So there's really no reason to get scared. And this is a major MRI top. This is a daily and a weekly right here. So, I mean, you can trust the Arun, or you can also trust MRI. In this case, with a daily and weekly MRI, I would have gotten out. Maybe not here, but definitely before it hit this low, for God's sakes. So I would have been tightening up my stop losses hard. The moment this red arrow shows up, I'm tightening the stop loss. If I keep trading higher the next day, great. This is, I rarely set trailing stops, but this is where I would set a trailing stop, and it would be pretty damn tight. The moment this thing starts to fall, I want to be out, because it's an MRI daily and weekly, which I know by the pluses and by this bottom label here. I'm still debating which one is more eye-pleasing, having it at the bottom of the chart with those 2s and 3s. I wish I can put D, M, W, but Pine makes this very, very difficult. If we can't figure it out, there'll have to be numbers down there. What is MRI? MRI stands for Momentum Reversal Indicator. That is what's going to replace my TI that people tend to confuse with TD, which is the Tom DeMark indicator, and it's kind of has similarities to the Tom DeMark indicator. But due to a lot of confusion, and I don't want my indicator to be confused with the Tom DeMark indicator, because there are a few tweaks and changes, and to make sure there is no confusion, MRI is going to be the Tone Vays proprietary trading system, and it's not going to be that proprietary. I will be pretty open about what causes all of these numbers, and you will be able to purchase access to it through me, or you can write your own. Like, I'm not going to sue you for it. So there you go. I will be somewhat open about I'm not going to share my code. Good luck trading this thing. It has so many moving parts that the probability of you getting it right is going to be very small if you're going to trade it, if you're going to code it on your own. And I'm going to try to charge a reasonable amount for it so that it's not that expensive. All right. Please read about the Arun. I like it, but this is not a crossover for me to short. It happened at 78. No way. I want this, you know, in that 20-25 range or lower to take the trade. Right. Like, if you like the TI, you'll still keep your access to TI. But my goal is to make the MRI better. It's still going to show you the same thing. on the TI indicator, the A13 is now just A, and the S13 is now just B, and the C13 is now just C. Like, it's all there. It will all match. Like here, if I turn on the TI, I hope it matches. Shit. Yep, it does. See? See how they're overlapping each other? This used to be this is the C13, this is the A13, this is the S13. They're all like, all of the same cell signals are there. Here is the 9 top on the TI, which becomes, a 2 on the MRI top. And the reason why it's a 2 is because it's 2 consecutive tops. So, which we couldn't do before. With the TI, there really was no difference between this one and this one. They were both showing you as a 9. But now this is a 1 and that's a 2 because it's happening back to back. So also back in the day when I used to say green 2 above a green 1, green 2 above a green 1, now you just have star. Now it's easier. Now look where the stars are. See, this stars where number 2 is. 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 So this stars where number 2. It's not always going to be number 2, but the logic for this is built in. So this is what's going to make it really, really good. So if I turn it off, it's just so much cleaner and better without those numbers. Right. So if you don't understand the stars, you don't have to look at them. If you don't understand the stars, I mean, this is why the stars are not displayed by default. Like the default is going to look like this. They won't exist. But yeah, you'll have to take the workshop to understand what they do. But if you don't care for them, don't display them. All right. I think I talked about this enough. Yeah, I'm going to do a whole full day workshop trying to explain every moving part and how the indicator is derived and what the math behind it is, and all the other cool stuff we're going to do with it. No. If you have paid for TI access, you don't. You're just going to get access to MRI. But I don't think I can give you the 6-hour workshop I'm going to do. So you'll have the access to the code. But if you want to, take the course about it, that you'll have to pay for. But you'll have access to the MRI. All right. Any other questions, guys? I don't really care what other traders do. I mean, they can do what they want to do, and I do what I want to do. So if someone is live trading every day and they don't charge for that, I mean, that's up to them. I mean, that's them. What's the last trade on Bitcoin you took? Well, I was trading GBTC recently. So if I go to GBTC, well, the GBTC is the wrong chart. I mean, I was going long all through here on GBTC. I got out. The last trade on GBTC that I exited was over up here. So that's the weekly chart, sorry, daily chart. The last trade I exited was here with the samurai top. So those of you that, if you go back to this video on this day, July 27th, this is where I got out. So I got out of GBTC actually at a higher price than it is right now. So I can still get back into my GBTC position that I exited here at a higher price. Now, I did say that I got in a little bit of GBTC at the end of last week, but not as much as I wanted to. So now I'm waiting for a pullback to get back into my long GBTC trade. So yeah, so I was long over here off of this area, off of this MRI bottom and the Arun right here. This was a beautiful Arun on July 19th. The Arun crossed at 11%. And if you look at the price chart on July 11th, July 19th, sorry. It was right there with the MRI. It was breaking out of the triangle. Somewhere in this vicinity, I went long on Bitcoin and GBTC, and I exited soon after right here, right near the top of that candle. And I got out at a higher price than GBTC is now. Yeah, because I got out at like 1250, and right now it's 1190. And I got back in again last week, but at a very tiny amount, relatively speaking. So now I'm waiting for my pullback off of this MRI top. Man, I'm getting excited about the MRI. I can't wait to get it released, especially now that we have multi-time frames just displayed right there in the chart. That's awesome. No, I didn't get to sell my silver. I've just been busy. I still have all of it. I wanted to sell it. I didn't sell it. And there are going to be, like, for those of you that will be depressed if you don't see numbers, we're going to have this dashboard for you. And this dashboard is going to show you all the numbers. They're going to look a little different than this. This is the old TI dashboard, but we'll have this dashboard. It's mostly used for debugging. So it will show you where all of these, where all the extensions are, where all the trends are. You can see, you'll see each number here in the dashboard, but you'll have to have it as a separate pan. Otherwise, it's a nightmare cluttering your charts. Look, I think Trump's going to win, and it's not, I don't think it's going to be close, but that's my opinion. Look, there's only one good thing about Biden winning, just one. The only good thing about Biden winning is that the peaceful protests that have destroyed businesses and killed people will stop. Because the Democrats are funding and inciting those movements. So that will completely end. And also COVID lockdowns will end. Again, I see that as, I see both of those as like giant, socialist agendas to against capitalism and against Trump and against I don't want to say against Republicans, but borderline against Republicans. So that's not how, that's not what I want. I mean, I want capitalism. So I prefer capitalism over socialism. So I'm not a fan of the Democrats winning. And the only silver lining to the Democrats winning is that the protests will stop and COVID nonsense will stop. So it's a double-edged sword, really. Neither one of them will, either one who gets elected is good for Bitcoin, so it doesn't matter. If a libertarian gets elected, it's probably not as good for Bitcoin. Yeah, the market is pricing in what's expected based on current data. That's exactly what we saw in the last election. Um, in the last election, uh, every time Trump was winning in the polls, the market would dip, and every time Hillary was winning in the polls, the market would rise. And that's because everyone wanted Hillary to win, because Hillary is a lot easier to bribe, a lot easier to buy. It's a lot easier to buy influence when it's a lifelong politician in office. Trump is not bribable. Trump doesn't need your bribes. Trump didn't get elected by creating a million promises. So every time Trump was leading in the polls, the market would drop. And it was stupid. And I said it was stupid because Trump is good for the stock market because Trump is a capitalist. So he's good for the market. And but the uncertainty of what Trump was going to do is what was dropping the market. But then Trump gets elected, the market crashes, and 24 hours later it completely recovers and begins one of the biggest bull markets ever, just like I was expecting. Well, it's not a conspiracy theory, right? Like if you did a poll, it's not conspiracy theory, right? Like if you did a poll of anyone in the protests, and if you just handed them a questionnaire asking who are they voting for in the election, Democrat or Republican, I guarantee you it will be 90% Democrat, if not 95, if not 98, if not 99. So it's not a conspiracy theory. Like find me people that are going to vote for Trump that are out in the street protesting. Good luck with that. And it's also the Republican states that are most lenient against the COVID lockdowns, against the mask rules, and against other restrictions. So, and it's the Democratic states that are so pro shutting down every business. So I don't understand how that's conspiracy theory that the Democrats are pushing the COVID shutdown, and it's the Democrats that are out in the street peacefully protesting, and I use the word peacefully very questionably. So I don't understand where the conspiracy theory is. So my view is the moment if Biden and the Democrats win, then a lot of this stuff will stop. Tone, you should live in a red state. I don't actually live in the US. I'm stuck here because of COVID. I'm a nomad. Do you think Biden would step down in his first term? Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. Because there's no way Biden would run for a second election. So he would probably find a way to step down. That makes sense. So that Kamala Harris gets, a year under her belt, maybe, or maybe they may not risk it to have Kamala Harris be in charge. In which case, he would just announce that she would run for the next reelection. So I don't know, but there's no way in hell Biden would make it 2 terms, assuming he would run, assuming he would get reelected. I can't see health-wise him making 8 years. I can't. Yeah, it's possible that the violence will stop after election because it will be no longer relevant. I agree. Look, my vote will always be for more capitalism. That's it, hands down. I don't really care what other countries think about Trump. That's totally irrelevant to me. And it should be irrelevant to Trump. The question is Trump bringing more capitalism to the US or less? If the answer is more, he did a good job. If the answer is less, he didn't. I thought Obama would bring more capitalism when he got elected in his first term, but I was wrong. He increased the spying machine and certainly did not bring on more capitalism. All right, enough politics. I don't really have much else, guys. I need to get back to testing the indicators. And I want to release my article today. So I got to finish proofreading that so I can get it out. Willie Woo comes on the show later today. Unconfiscatable is happening in April. But the head of the CDC just came out and said, don't expect anything remote. He basically said, don't expect normal life for another year. So I don't like, it's bad. And like, I mean, sure. I mean, he really wants, an extra 100,000 people to commit suicide between now and next year, maybe an extra million people to commit suicide. This is what happens when you, that's what's going to happen if you don't open the economy for another year. Expect way more suicides than COVID could ever kill people. So unconfiscatable will be in November. Will be in April. The financial summit has been moved to next November, and understanding Bitcoin has been moved to next September. So this is happening about a month from now, a year from now, on this month. Brandy, thank you so much for your super chat. Please address supply concerns regarding TA. I don't understand. For instance, if Trump wins, there is a real possibility of support for DeFi. I can't make the connection between the two. I don't think Trump matters when it comes to DeFi. I don't think anything matters when it comes to DeFi. Trump's got bigger problems to deal with than worrying about crypto. Oh, Don, what a horrible comment. It doesn't matter if Trump murders people as long as he brings more capitalism. Bringing more capitalism does not involve murdering people. Bringing more socialism does. Bringing communism does. That's what murders people. Bringing capitalism does not murder people. It's the complete opposite of whatever it is you've been taught. God knows where. Yeah, Gary, this in the steel mill. Right. I'm with you. All right. Fun chats, guys. I'm going to take one last peek at Bitcoin. The daily chart is on an MRI top. I am looking for a 1 to 4 candle correction, and then we will reevaluate the situation. Willy Woo will be on the show tonight. So tonight at 10 a.m. Hong Kong time, which I believe is 10 a.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. Pacific time, and middle of the night for you guys in Europe. Sorry. We will have Willy Woo on the show to talk some fundamental analysis. All right. Bye, guys.